everyone. This is, once again, Mid-Card Mono. We got over here Sam Keola, the Wrestling Connoisseur, a.k.a. Hurricane Helms. We got over here the Loose Cannon, a.k.a. the Sicilian Psychopath. And today, right now, there's a hurricane coming. We're going to be talking about a couple of reviews, but our first one's going to be of WrestleMania 34. Ooh. I decided let's move up instead of slide down.
Well, you know, speaking of storms,
Lance Storm, what?
Shit storms. Well, let's just get into it.
All right, so yeah. let's go through the pre-show first.
Wipe my table down.
So the pre-show was featured both of the Battle Royals.
Oh, yes.
So the first one was, of course, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale.
Quite sadly, I may have enjoyed the pre-show more than the rest of WrestleMania.
I also agree. The regular WrestleMania had really good moments, but I think as far as a show that flowed, the pre-show, I think, was a lot more solid from bell to bell as far as the first to last.
So, the men's Battle Royale, it was going as expected. I mean, I was hoping there'd be a lot more NXT guys in the men's. Mm-hmm. We did see it in the women's.
Definitely, we saw it a lot more present in the women's. But
yeah.
For the men's,
was there anybody from NXT in the men's?
I cannot recall. But let's look. They have the Order of Elimination, and that is a no.
I don't think there was.
There were no NXT men. Show up.
That's pretty sad. 20 men, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is 20 guys that WWE could not figure out a storyline to have for WrestleMania, which is pretty bad considering. What ended up was Matt Hardy.
It was wonderful, yes!
Our three finalists, I don't remember the fourth finalist, our three finalists was Matt Hardy and the past two concurrent Battle Royal winners, Mojo and Baron Corbin.
And of course I called Corbin being the first two-time.
Yeah,
I was
unfortunately,
thankfully wrong.
It seemed like that's the direction they were going to go.
He was the last person eliminated.
Yeah, so and I don't even know if I even had a pick for this. I don't think I even cared enough to have a pick for it.
I don't recall if you had a pick or not.
But Jericho had called Bray Wyatt winning, but Wyatt was never officially entered. Mm-hmm. So he did call Matt Hardy or Bray Wyatt winning. So props to Jericho for calling that.
For the so wonderful close. Prediction, the premonition.
It's very interesting because obviously Matt Hardy did not need this win at all.
No, but it did serve an interesting storyline purpose. It did serve an interesting
storyline since they dropped the ball so big on this storyline. Of course, now that Bray had fallen into the Lake of Reincarnation, we were all left wondering what was going to happen.
Some people were saying Husky Harris.
Right. I was like, seriously, no, they're not going to do that.
And they should have. I would have laughed so hard. At least for like one day. Have Husky Harris's like
Wyndham Rotunda would have been better than that. Or if they were going to like do like when he was dumping Jeff in Impact, like he pulls him up and at one point he's dressed like IRS, would have been perfect. But no, it was interesting. I mean, the lights go out. We know Bray's coming, so it was like, oh, are they going to continue the feud? What are they going to do here? What are we going to see? I was excited just to see the teleprompter thing to announce that Bray's coming, because it let us know that Bray Wyatt is still around.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be Husky Harris or that
anyone
other
else
one-off gimmick he had in NXT that he never even made it to screen. So it was interesting that it served a purpose that WWE could have easily done on Raw.
Yeah, or done in another way.
But you chose to use the pre-show for it instead.
It was interesting, too, because there were a lot of opportunities I felt for, especially the Andre, to really give someone a direction.
Anybody.
Instead of someone who already sort of had a direction.
Why not use this as a way to introduce No Way Jose instead of having him as security out in the arena? don't know if you picked up on that when Braun was looking for a partner.
Oh man.
Jose was security.
Cause
you see him look over at the camera like
really?
Like, dude, they're not gonna pick me. But no, I mean, it is what it is. But I thought they missed a huge opportunity actually, with not doing something previously with Mojo and Corbin on the build to WrestleMania. Why not have these two guys
have both of them be sort of like,
hey,
no, I'm going to be the first 2-time. No, I'm going to be the first 2-time. Have a feud.
They're both heels, so them going, hey, let's eliminate everybody else.
And then best man.
Then it get down to us. And honestly, these two guys who suck balls right now, put them together as a tag team.
They're directionless.
They are.
Unfortunately.
Put them together. Is what I was thinking. Like, why not? You introduce them, kind of have them teaming up, building to this, taking everybody out that they can. And then at the Battle Royal, they team up and they do that. And at the end, of course, they get dumped. But have them continue on as like a tag team or something. At least there's something for them to do that doesn't go, God, these guys suck. I don't want to see them in the main event. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see them in a title picture. Put them in tag team.
Kind of like what they did with Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Except Tyler Breeze is excellent. I love Tyler
I like Fandango too. I think he's great. He just has not. He also did not have a direction with his character.
Yeah. Anyway, so the next match we're going to talk about is the Cruiserweight Championship match. That was Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali having an incredible entrance.
Yeah, I did watch the entrance. This was like
very emotional match
or something. Honestly,
it was such a good
invested
match.
in it.
Oh my god, that's because you haven't been following 205.
I've watched it the last 2 or 3 episodes, but I just, to me it was.
Yeah, but you haven't been down since day one ish in 205.
No,
like
I have not been down
been.
since day one. I've been down since Triple H ish.
Down since Drake DM the GM. Drake Maverick.
Yeah, and to me, it was always going to be Cedric Alexander going to win it. So I was not invested with Mustafa Ali.
I love Mustafa Ali though.
I was just like, well, this is going to happen, and
well, especially
I caught the ending.
I thought the work that both of them did as far as cutting promos and giving interviews and stuff with each other and separately did a lot to really make this match a lot more emotional and more meaningful, considering the fact that both of them are faces.
I did like that when it started.
And so it was the heart and soul, the heart versus the soul of 205.
Of course, Cedric, he's going to win, so he is hyped and jazzed and everything. He's like, we're at WrestleMania, man! And Mustafa is like, yeah. But I mean, it was what I saw of it was good, and I don't really have any complaints about that match.
See, I saw that sort of difference in their, I guess, demeanors as something that they've been character-wise building up for a long time. So, I mean, there was an interview that they gave on 205 not so long ago where Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali are both talking to Drake Maverick, and Mustafa Ali pretty much calls it out. It's like, everyone thinks you're going to win. You think you're going to win because this has been such a long time coming for you, so you're already writing me off. Right. Nobody believes that Mustafa Ali is going to be able to do this. But I have just as much I'm fighting for, just like you. I have my kids who I want to make proud. I have all the people that I represent. So I felt like Cedric Alexander's sort of jazzed for WrestleMania is his whole still sort of demeanor of, yeah, I know I got this. And Mustafa Ali's for me was a lot more of like, nobody thinks I can do this. I'm here to prove them wrong. So the serious tone, I guess.
205 this week yet?
I haven't watched this one.
I'm curious what happens on this one. If there will be anything to further up with Mustafa Ali going after the title again, or what they'll do.
Who knows? Yeah. So
I'm sure Triple H has something up his sleeve.
I really enjoyed Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. I felt like, as far as
a lot of people were really looking
emotion in the match, I felt like the emotion was there more than in any other match. Sort of like how I was talking or how we talked about for Wrestle Kingdom 12, Goto versus Suzuki, the best storytelling in the match.
God.
Maybe not technically the best match or even the most explosive to watch, but just the emotional
Those two are
investment.
great, though. I mean, they really are. But, yeah.
The emotional investment that I had in this match, just based on all the work that had been put into it from both Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali leading up to it, really made this a lot more memorable than I think a lot of the other matches of the night that might have been more flashy or more gimmicky. So,
what was your feelings on the women's battle royal? The Wrestlemania women's battle royal.
the fabulous Moolah.
We don't talk about that now.
Well, so for me, pros. All right, I'm going to try and split this up.
Okay.
I liked the fact that they included a lot more NXT women's talent. Of course, they would kind of have to, considering...
Women need their own show.
And you've been saying this for, like, ever now.
Women need their own show.
And now he's going to actually, like, cough for real. No, but the NXT women that were represented, I believe one was Peyton Royce. There was Kairi Sane. There was Kavita Devi, Tenera Conti. Dakota Kai.
Who my daughter was really pulling for to win.
Really?
Yeah.
And Bianca Belair.
And Bianca Belair was
That was the other one. I was like, there was a sixth one, and then I looked it up.
Well, I'm just like, every time she wrestles, I'm like, please do not get your hair caught in the ropes. Please do not get your hair caught in the ropes.
Bianca Belair? Yeah.
Because it's like, there's so much of it. It can be painful.
Yeah. But I mean...
Yeah,
I definitely was a really big fan of the NXT representation and the one moment they had all together in the ring where it was just like, we're NXT and we're here to prove that we are just as good as all of you on the main roster, if not honestly kind of better. Yeah. So and unfortunately none of them won. I said that Kairi Sane, my pirate princess, didn't win, but Hojo will get her moment in the sun.
So interesting. The finale of it left me confused because I did not realize that Naomi was even still in it. Because I hadn't seen her for I don't know how long.
It was, you know what it reminded me of?
So I haven't gone back to watch, but I'm like, at what point did she get knocked to the apron or to the outside but not eliminated? Yeah. Do you remember?
I do not. But you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of... what they do in... Oh, what?
It reminded me of when Mr. Perfect would get outside of the ring and hold on to the turnbuckle on the outside, the post, and hide for half the match.
Well, I mean,
to me, it came off very heelish.
Well, it reminded me of, and this was also very heelish too, for the women's battle royal they had in NXT a while back, to see who was going to challenge Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship.
Okay.
Where the person who got knocked out but didn't get eliminated waits until the very end and eliminates the last person.
Yeah.
Luckily, so that was Carmella in that match.
Okay.
Back in NXT, and it ended up giving her a little bit more of a face rub because of the fact that the person she eliminated was Eva Marie, and Eva Marie had eliminated Asuka.
Oh, I see. Well, it was interesting in this because we get down to essentially Sasha Bayley,
which was the moment everyone was waiting for.
Right? They really have been teasing is Bayley going to turn heel? Is Sasha really going to go full heel? What's going to happen?
And then there was no resolution.
It looks like Bayley gets payback, and then also Naomi's in there, and it
sweeps.
It felt so weird. I had issues with that one, at the finish. And I was like, well, it'd been nicer if it was really clear-cut finish. It was clear-cut, but I don't know where Naomi came from.
It came off a lot more like she ran away with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than she was there from the beginning and fought and clawed. And it's very strange, especially how we were mentioning with her face gimmick. If she were still leader of Team Bad, that sort of would work. But with the whole Feel the Glow thing, it's a little weird. And I'm interested to see if that's going to play into anything in the future, or if this is just sort of one-off of...
Definitely did not on
she
SmackDown.
Ended up winning. Yeah.
It was just that she won.
She won.
And if it had been
Still
Natalie...
a face.
If it'd been Natty Neidhart, it'd been like, oh, yeah, that was...
She ran away with it.
You know, yeah. But not here. It was Naomi, and they're just like, oh, she won.
Yeah,
So I kind of feel like they're not going to follow up.
But I'm wondering
I don't know if it was a missed spot. Like, she didn't realize it was so close to the end. Or I have no idea.
Or alternately, if it was something like someone called an audible.
Maybe, because
in the
that
match
happened a lot at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it did. And like Vince is like, "Oh, this Sasha Bailey thing isn't working out.
Naomi to get out.
Just Naomi. I don't think anyone noticed if she got eliminated or not. So just throw her in there.
Just pick somebody from outside the ring. Nicholas, come quick. Everybody thinks you're a girl.
Woof. We're going to get to that later. So the first match that we're going to talk about on the main card was the IC match. Interesting that this was the first match to open the show. Considering with the amount of talent in it, you would think that they would save that for a little bit more.
No, because you don't want that much talent anywhere near Brock Roman.
Well, not only that, but especially with, you could have had US, then Intercontinental, because the US match kind of felt a little bit flat
with Brock and Roman, honestly, because
the curtain opener main event.
What a shitty way to end the show.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
We're
gonna talk about it in
strong.
order though.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I think technically speaking, the Intercontinental match was probably the best on the card.
Yeah. And especially with these three guys who work together so well and also in character so well.
It was
sad we didn't get the Demon.
For me that it had already been like let out that Seth Rollins was going to win from posters and bookings and whatnot. So
the whole Grand Slam thing.
The Grand Slam thing. It was kind of predictable.
I had hope.
But yeah,
he tried to land a sloppy sling blade,
Yeah. So
with the master of the sling blade in the ring, Finn Balor. Whatever.
Here's what took away from that match for me is that we have seen this match on Raw in some form or capacity for the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And there was while there's been build, there's nothing to show me that I haven't seen. Yeah. Even before they announced the matchup, we'd been seeing this matchup.
And we could kind of anticipate that this is the direction they were going in.
This is the match they're going to have. Now, if they had been having this matchup and they'd gone with the original plan of Strowman versus Miz, it'd been something new, something fresh, something different. And then we'd had all these great matches beforehand, and then we get that match. Mm-hmm. But instead, they just went, oh, well, we got this storyline going already. Let's just have it for Mania.
Let's just have see how this pans out.
It really just, you've already kind of seen it. So that does take a little bit away from the quality. Congratulations to the Grand Slam champion.
That being said, I do think it was a really good match between the three of them. Yeah. And I thought that they were able, even for people who detract a lot from The Miz, he did pretty well in keeping up. I mean, he might not have been the superstar of the match, but I mean, he did pretty well in keeping up with the pace of Balor and Rollins, which we both know they can.
2 high flyers.
Yeah.
I mean, really. So, yeah, it'll be interesting because I expect here on out we'll just see Rollins versus Balor
until Balor takes it
and
from
Miz
him.
do something different at the moment. I mean, maybe he takes time off. I don't know.
Well, I know they're filming for Miz and Mrs., which is their reality show.
And it seems like they're going to do another movie. Is he doing another movie?
Who knows?
I'm not sure.
But one thing I would like to say is I do think it's notable we didn't get the Demon. We got Balor Club for Everyone, which I thought was a cool. I thought it was nice. Yeah. But then I realized after the finish of the match, I'm like, they couldn't give the Demon because then if the Demon lost,
the Demon would lose. Vince seems to only think that the Demon wins, which is going to give everything away when they use it from now on. Yeah. So there is that.
But it is what it is, and it was what it was. Seth Rollins is a White Walker, whatever. Anyway, next match we're going to talk about, probably to me the most surprising match, was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. That was Charlotte Flair versus Asuka.
Okay,
And
let me just
this
start.
is probably the part that both of us were the most upset by.
I was pissed from here on out because, number one, as we've been talking, it was pretty clear that they were going to strap Asuka. Well deserved.
Yeah.
To build up another main attraction for the women's division.
Yes.
What I called was that Asuka wins. Both are just giving it their all. They're both out. Asuka wins by a hair. Carmella cashes in, pins Asuka, ends the streak. Nuclear heat ends the streak by no fault to Asuka. Mm-hmm. It's a cheap win, so Asuka saves face.
Yeah.
And then you already have the title off Asuka because of the cashing in, and then Asuka's
you have the title off of her. You have the streak ended. You give someone else the either the rub or the heat that they need,
and then you have your two top women in the chase for the title again. And it's like, obviously you can book it however way you want it. Asuka gets a title shot, Charlotte gets a title shot, triple threat. It books for the rest of the summer. Instead they have this, and this made me nuts. Oh my god! I was so mad. She tapped.
You know what I was hoping? Honestly, the only way that I would have accepted a submission was if it was a ref stoppage. Where the ref called it, she didn't tap, but the ref called it that she's like, she's not gonna give up. Charlotte's gonna break her leg. You know, like that. I feel like that would have been the only way I would have accepted it.
If not my way, I would accept that. Like, she didn't give up.
Yeah, your way is the better way. But like, if they had to not include Carmella in that.
Spoiler, especially because 2 nights later on SmackDown, Carmella cashes in the goddamn Money in the Bank and does it anyway. So to me, it's like, why would you
bother?
Waste all of this? Mm-hmm. So yeah, way to go.
I was like, that being said, I'm gonna try and find positives in this match because
there are none.
I liked Charlotte's entrance. I liked the tribute to Ric Flair. That was cool, sort of.
Yeah.
I thought that I was impressed by the Spanish Fly that was present in the match that Charlotte pulled off.
The match itself was good.
Yeah, it's just the finish was disappointing. To say the least.
I don't know if it was an audible call or what, because the last rumor I had heard was that they were planning to do Asuka versus Rousey for the title at the next Mania, and Asuka retain all year, remain undefeated, and then versus Rousey. That's and especially a lot because to put on Ronda
Charlotte
Rousey.
Didn't need this win.
She didn't need it. She did not need this win at all. So what really pisses me off is that they have reduced Asuka to Becky Lynch.
To tapping.
They took away everything that made her special. Mm-hmm. Because Ronda Rousey's using the armbar now, they won't let Asuka use the armbar. It was not present in the match.
See, it's funny though, because when it was building up that Rousey was gonna show up, they were just like, use the armbar instead of the Asuka lock. So she did, and then they're just like, never mind. And
don't use that ever again.
All right, so this is going to be probably a whole nother video that we're going to do, just on this match. So we're going to cut this closed right now and probably do a whole nother video on why that was a fucking travesty. That made me really genuinely upset, and it made it hard for me for the rest of the show.
I hope Vince dies. Whoever booked that finish should kill themselves. Because that was awful. It was,
anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to move on, because if not, we're going to dwell on this forever. So, the Fatal 4-Way match for the United States Championship, that was Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Rusev. Yeah. Rusev Day!
I was very happy that Jinder got this win. I think he needed it.
Yeah.
All the storyline altogether has been pointing toward Jinder winning the U.S. title. They've kept him from it this whole time for whatever reason. I don't know. I felt like he should have been U.S. champion since the tournament. They haven't. And
I
so
wonder.
here we
Well, I
are.
wonder if they wanted to test the crowd reception for Bobby Roode.
Could have been.
And then when Bobby Roode was champion, it unfortunately it missed the mark by a hair. Because by the time Roode was champion, everyone wanted Rusev.
Right. Rusev has come in so strong, and they've been trying to kill his overness.
And
You know,
it's not working.
They'll have him wishy-washy face heel. They have him lose, and it's just continuous. And
They have him take the pin here.
apparently Rusev is like borderline ready to walk.
Yeah.
Because they're like getting really pissed. I think a lot of it probably has to do with Lana, but Rusev is not getting used like he should be.
Yeah.
And the crowd response, I would rank him close, like number 2 or number 3 response on SmackDown as being over.
Definitely.
Possibly even the entire company, because God, Rusev Day. I mean, on SmackDown alone, Daniel Bryan's first singles match back. Paige is like, "Who should it be?" They start chanting Rusev Day, and then she's like, "Who should it be?" And then they go, AJ Styles. And I don't know if that was just a chant started by WWE.
Probably.
But number 1 was Rusev Day.
It should have been Rusev first. They should have built a little bit more to Styles, but then, of course, then they couldn't get the whole anything. Anyway, we're going to talk about that in our SmackDown review later. But I do agree with Ginger winning here.
Yeah.
I was surprised they didn't give it to Rusev and then take it off him really fast.
That's what I was
because that's what I think we were thinking was going to happen. They were going to Zack Ryder him.
Yeah, and then listen to those pigs scream. We live in Hawaii. Yeah, I was hoping Rusev would win, get his WrestleMania moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jinder takes it on SmackDown, and then Rusev chases, leading up to next pay-per-view or SummerSlam or something to that effect.
Anything.
To say, hey, we're going to strap Rusev again, but we're going to build to it.
All right. Anyway, the next match.
Just let him walk and join Bullet Club and show up in Chicago too. I mean, that's totally up to you.
He's all in.
He would be all in, I think.
I think he also would be. Anyway, next match we're going to talk about is a surprisingly good match. I think a match that a lot of people slept on that ended up being a lot better than
Sleeping during WrestleMania?
that we all anticipated. So that was, of course, the mixed tag match. That was Angle and Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. The ending was predictable, but leading up to it was quite a journey.
It was a journey. I think the journey took a wrong turn, and they could have ended it like 10 or 15 minutes sooner.
Yeah, it was an incredibly long match.
It went way too long.
I think the longest match of the night.
That's sad.
It was the longest match of the night by a hair.
It took a turn, and I imagine this was Triple H. Like he kept it going longer because he wanted it. Suspend the belief that Angle and Ronda was going to win, and it did.
Yeah, I had moments where I'm like, oh my god, Trips might take this.
Yeah,
Trips might take this.
I was like, okay, they're gonna have them win. It's like, okay, this will be interesting. And then
interesting entrances.
I think
also.
at the point where it was Triple H, Ronda in the ring, I was like, okay, they just stretched this out to throw fans off.
I did like the moments that were in it.
Moments, yeah.
Like Triple.
She was much better than I anticipated.
Yes,
she would be.
I think that was. I think that's the overall criticism, or not criticism, but like surprise. I guess. But I do
think they did luckily go with her doing more MMA
groundwork and stuff. Yeah,
which helped a lot.
Yeah,
so she did like that rolling clothesline.
She came out looking great.
She did.
Honestly,
where I think it hurt is that if you go back and watch, she's down a lot. The match is stretched out, so they play to their strengths and kind of pick their spot.
I think the one really awkward spot that they had, and I think it was, I don't know if it was she did it too early or someone was secure or whatever, where she was standing like holding Triple H for like a weird amount of time. I mean,
she
honestly,
did that with Stephanie too.
Yeah, in the match, in how long the match was, it doesn't seem like that long, but when it's in the moment in the middle of the ring, you're watching it. It's weird that you're just holding him on your shoulders and not doing anything. You're not going for a throw or a drop or a torture rack or something.
Well, I think Stephanie missed her mark. I mean, for as
I
good as
also
this
think
match
it's that.
was, Stephanie stunk the place up. I'm not going to repeat what I said elsewhere because I might draw a little bit of heat. But Stephanie really stunk the match up a lot. And I think if they used anybody else in there besides Stephanie, it would have been twice as good as it was.
But I think the
But
hate
you might
wouldn't
not
have
have
been
gotten
as
the
much
hate,
there.
but man, yeah, Stephanie sucks. McMahon's need to stay away from the wrestling rings. With that said, it was better than anticipated.
Yeah.
Longer than anticipated.
Definitely much longer than anticipated.
And did basically what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's a high compliment or not, but yeah.
It was what it was.
Yeah, it was what it was.
Right. So the next match we're going to talk about are the Usos in their first WrestleMania main card appearance versus the New Day.
How sad is that though?
I
Really?
know.
I mean, yeah, it's so sad.
Versus the Bludgeon Brothers for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
I think because the previous match went so long, this match had to be cut short.
I think that was also
That's
what
exactly
it was.
where they cut it short.
Because it was incredibly short for the amount of talent that is in that ring for that.
But with that said, I think it was good that it's kept short to get the Bludgeon Brothers over.
I agree. Sadly, I think that having such a quick, decisive victory only helps them, especially because
Definitely.
of how much they've missed the mark on both Harper and Rowan.
It's taken them
so many
long
times
to get the titles in their career.
Yeah.
In general. So yeah, that's really all you can say about that match.
Yeah. It was a solid 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was an enjoyable 5 minutes, and not unpredictable, but
right.
It was what it was.
Thankfully, on that part.
Yeah.
So I think if they had tried to swerve anybody in that match, it would have
been the only swerve that would have really made me upset would have been if New Day won. I would have been happy with Usos retaining. I think okay with the Bludgeon Brothers winning, but New Day winning would have made me upset.
I think if either of them had won, I would have been a little bit upset because why even introduce the Bludgeon Brothers and have them as this dominant tag team if you're not going to have them win the titles?
I would have had them just not involved in the finish.
Even then, it was like...
And then just have the Usos get destroyed the next day. Have them win it the next SmackDown. Sort of similar to what happened with Charlotte and Carmella.
No.
And then have the Usos go away for a while.
Yeah.
Because they're so over that I think they need more time to let other people sort of blossom up, because the Usos, honestly, I love the Usos.
The tag division,
they steal the show.
SmackDown.
They do.
They just don't use the tag division.
That's what I mean. I love the Usos. I say this a billion times because it's true, but I think that's what they should have done.
Strapping them, now they could have them on every week and just destroy tag teams and actually use the tag division. Wow, why would you do that? That would be crazy.
Anyway, the next match that you called was going to be a match that I didn't think was going to happen. Taker versus Cena.
Yeah.
In which Taker squashes Cena like a bug.
I was hoping they wouldn't do this match.
I was hoping they wouldn't do it either, and then they
said he's
did
here,
it.
and John Cena ran to the back. I was hoping maybe they're going to give us Lashley versus Cena. Maybe it'll be Elias versus... Maybe it'll be anything but Undertaker versus Cena.
I didn't want to...
When the bell tolled, I was like, oh, crap, it's not
like,
Big
no!
Evil. Yeah, I was like, it's not Big Evil. Undertaker comes out, and it was essentially a squash match, especially considering the Undertaker has new powers. He doesn't even have to touch you. He can big boot you from the other side of the ring, and it doesn't even have to hit your face, and you fall down.
He's the Phenom.
Wow, the Phenom boot. Congratulations, John Cena. You got your WrestleMania match with The Undertaker, and you made yourself look like a fool.
Jabroni.
What a jabroni. I mean, seriously. What's the movie he's got out now?
Blockers.
Blockers. Yeah. Cock blockers.
It's just called Blockers.
No, it's just
The implication is
Imagine that. John Cena in a movie called Blockers. So we get the Undertaker, and I am... Let me just say, I don't know how long he's been planning to come back for this match. At least been a month or two. But that was a really shitty match.
There was no reason for that match to happen. Okay? I'm sorry. Like, I'm just really
John
upset.
Cena.
I'm just really upset because I really did not want this match to happen. There was nothing in me that wanted to see anything about this match. And then when they had no answer from the Undertaker, like I was just like,
He's
maybe
a member of the audience.
Maybe Cena would go up and talk, and then just like he would get nothing. He would get no retribution, and then he'd be left off the card, and then he'd have to deal with that not being part of WrestleMania for the first time in his career because he's a part-timer now.
Yeah.